Uh, let's see. Let's see what we're gonna do today. Well, for the people that are interested, I will be painting a... Come on. A very pretty looking Dragonborn. It's one that we'll be using in our next D&D session by one of my fellow players. We sadly had a TPK last night, so we need a bunch of new minis. He wanted a monk. This one isn't necessarily a monk, but still think if we choose our colors right, we could actually probably get something nice. Thanks very much. So I'm thinking a bit muted colors, probably quite a bit of brownish, and he wanted a yellow Dragonborn. Yellow is a pain to paint, but we'll just see what we can do, and we'll just do our best. I think I'll just start with the big area, which is always the easiest part, which is the cape. I always quite like doing this stuff. It's making stuff for your... Name a car. Hello. From Mongolia. Well, look at that. Name a car. Skoda? I don't know. You want something more fancy. You want something like a Ferrari or something. Oh, no. The weird one. The Koenigsegg or whatever it was called. Well, welcome from Mongolia. That's always quite interesting. Haven't been there yet. This one, let's give it a shot. Now, what I normally just do, I just sit here, paint my minis, which I need to do anyway. And these days I decided to just stream it while I'm sitting here painting. Not necessarily that the painting is probably the most interesting part to watch. Well, that's also why I call the stream watching paint dry. But I quite like it to just have someone pop in once in a while and just have a chat. Do we go with the big brush? Yeah, we'll go with the big brush. And some people actually seem to quite enjoy and have a look and see what they do. And the cape is the same. Yeah. And once in a while I can help some people out who are also painting, or I also 3D print. I've got both a resin printer and a filament printer. The only thing I don't know anything about is designing minis. It's something that so far has eluded me, which I do want to get into, but yeah, there's only so much time. It would be nice to eventually just design something myself if I need it, so I can print it. I see all these videos of people just printing parts for stuff that's broken, which I think is incredibly cool. But until now, it's either been using them to print stuff for D&D, like minis or terrain, or print some toys for the kids, which they always seem to enjoy. Can't really blame them. Who can say they've got a dad that can just print them new toys if they want some? The only downside is that they once in a while have to wait a long time because a print can take, especially the bigger stuff, like a day to print. Boo-hoo, I gotta wait for my toys. To be honest, I once in a while have to feel like I have to wait for my toys, so... At the moment I'm printing this very big ship for our next campaign. It's gonna be like 60 centimeters long or something like that. And just to print the ship, it's gonna take me like 5 days of printing. 5 days! Luckily I don't have to sit next to it and wait, so it just goes. The first part is printing now, which will take 2.5 days. So if you get a printer because you want stuff now, well, good luck with that. Just have patience. The thing is though, it's mostly just turn it on and go do something else, and just once in a while check on it, see if it became complete spaghetti with the filament printer, and overall the resin one doesn't take that long. It's most of the time the minis, they take about 3 hours or something. The downside of resin printing being the cleanup that you have to do afterwards, which I absolutely hate, but a filament printer just can't get the little details. Just like this has been printed on a resin. It's just, you can't get that small of a detail with a filament printer. Although, a friend of mine, I'll show it in a bit. I need to quickly finish this part or it will become all splotchy. Printed a mini with a filament printer that was before I even had a printer myself, and I thought, oh, he has a printer so he can print my stuff, and he was complaining about why did it have to be so small. I was like, why, what does it matter? Well, now that I've got them, now I get it. It's this one, which I still think is amazing that he actually managed it, and I hardly see any. Come on. You can see small layer lines, but it's tiny. It's well, it doesn't have a print farm, but it has something like it. He does print specialized stuff. So he better has a good printer. He has all this stuff also that can cope with heat really well. At one point he had to print parts for a motorcycle, which is kind of cool. Thinking that you can just print stuff that they need. It was a racing motorcycle, so don't know if that actually makes it better or worse, but the people that are watching, and I'll probably just throw up a poll in a bit, is, do any of you play D&D or Warhammer or anything like that which would require you to print or paint any minis? Ooh, I like that color. Oh, that's good. It's a very nice muted brown. This Cold Warrior skin. But I can kind of see it being somewhat sunburned brown. It is nice. Okay. Well, that's the nice thing about those big areas. You're done in no time. Especially because I did something called a Zenith priming job, which is first you completely prime them black. And after that you go like from the top and you spray white on it, so all the bottom parts don't get any paint on it, so they stay black. Therefore you really get, you kind of already got your shading going. Let's see. How to continue? How to continue? Those are leather straps. I'll just stick with doing those with leather. It doesn't actually wear a lot of armor. It's mostly... Is it armor or is it skin? But to go with the... So we probably need to go with a... There we go, that one. And this... That's too bright. Got full bright maize yellow. Yeah, probably that one. Oh. There we go. Let's start with the small stuff. Oh. He kind of has like, or because it's a Dragonborn, he has scales going for him, which is nice, of course. But to be able to get some more definition on those, I'll probably have to make those a lot darker. I think let's try to do it this one. quite a bright yellow, but I like my bright colors. It's playing a fantasy game, and there's a lot of people who want to be like, yeah, well, I want it to look gritty and it's more realistic. It's like, what's realistic about it? We're running around trying to be mages or anything like that. We got the possibility to run around in bright colors and everything. Let's go for it. Although I do like it if they manage to pull it off and have like a really nice weathered look to them. It's amazing what some people can paint on these minis. It's absolutely amazing. What they can pull off. Because they're tiny little things. These are for the D&D, the 28 millimeter, I believe. So we're just trying to make like paint these tiny things. Although to a certain degree, small things to paint small things is actually. Can you see? Doesn't really wanna. Because on a large surface, you see every little blemish. Even if you just mess up one little bit, you can see it on these tiny things. Especially if you're like this deep into like half underneath a robe or anything like that. Nobody's gonna notice. Also, most people already enjoy it if there's just some color on it. It's always better to have like this than some grey mini sitting on the table. And also keep in mind that you're like, I don't know. Well, we've got quite a big table, so we actually sit quite far away from them. But you are sitting quite a bit distance away from them, so nobody's gonna notice. But of course, you always want to do a good job. You know if there's something on it that isn't right. It will bug you. Why did he have to go for yellow? Why? Yellow is so difficult to get a proper color on. But I actually want this one seems to be doing quite well. But also because I'm priming them partly in white, and on white it's a lot more easy than on black. You've got quite a few people that just prime stuff black. Because it makes the minis look a lot more gritty. But like I said earlier, I'm not really into the gritty look. Yeah, but lore-wise, it makes more sense. Blah, blah, blah. True. It probably does. But and like I said, I do like it if somebody really manages to pull them off and has like, they can make, if they're wearing an armor, that make the armor look damaged and worn, and like it has been on the battlefield for a while. To a certain degree, it's also above my skill level. To a certain degree, I don't even believe I'm that amazing of a painter, but I have been told otherwise, so maybe I should stop complaining about it. But it is quite bright. I'll just dull it down with a bit of shade in the end. With a wash over it in the end. That will dull down the bright yellow quite a bit. And that way it's always better to make them a bit brighter than you want to. So if you do a wash, it won't immediately destroy every bit of color that you put on your mini. Because that's what I've done in the beginning. I painted them exactly the way I wanted them to. And then had to go over them with the wash in the end. And it was all gone. So though I do have a tendency to not use washes, because I am afraid to lose a lot of the color. Yeah, it's starting to look like a canary now. It's a bit too bright, so I hope I managed to dull it down with a wash. Although he did want a yellow Dragonborn. So he's getting a yellow Dragonborn. Well, I'm the one painting them in the end, so final vote goes to me, I guess. Well, you could just decide not to use the mini, which is a bit of a shame. Yeah, we'll throw some null oil on this. Probably just all goes away. And if that doesn't work, I got a... what's it called again? Vallejo Game Wash? According to the advert, you can throw your dip your entire mini in it and it will put a wash on it. I did that once and my entire mini ended up grey instead of any color on it. So I am not a big fan. I still have nightmares from it. weirdly enough, if people see the picture of that mini, a lot of people like him. I just don't see it. Yeah, that's way too bright. It just... Halo is starting to look like a canary. But it's always easier to make stuff darker in the end than it is to make them brighter. If you've got paint on it, it is very difficult. But of course, you can always put white on top of it again and blah blah blah. But if you want to mess with the colors and try to get like a little different shade on it or anything like that. A little bit more. There we go. He is bright yellow. It's a look, I guess. But we'll get him to look pretty in the end. At least somewhat. Somewhat pretty. Well, we had a good start. We had 24 viewers to start off with, and then it just died down. Which is a shame. Although I get it, it's quite of a niche subject. Let's see if we can get a vote going. We have ta-da, keyboard. There we go. Create a poll. There we go. Let's switch some stuff around here. That one there. There we go. Oh! No! Now I am sad. I am very, very sad. Look at it. The arm broke off. No! Oh well, we got glue. So I should probably take this opportunity to paint the part that was behind his arm. There's this little knapsack behind it. I actually have the ability to paint it now. So I'll just go for it. Such a shame. Really like this color. It is called Sand Golem. I made another mini with it as well. Can you imagine this entire mini? It just uses one paint. It is gorgeous. But for the other yellow now to match up, it all needs to get a lot darker to look. We'll do it. We'll manage to get it a bit darker. That's the nice thing about painting this stuff. To a certain degree, you can never really screw up that much. Because you can always just paint over it. And if it goes really wrong, I can always print a new one. I can just print another mini. Oh god, yeah, this is way too yellow. Ah. The more the paint is drying, the more yellow it gets. I'm wondering though, at the moment, I'm streaming in the gaming channel. I kind of wonder if this is... It is for games, but is it truly gaming? I believe there's also something like an arts and crafts category. Maybe it's better if I'm going to be streaming in that one. It is somewhat more arts and craftsy, this. Well, to a certain degree, a lot of people that play stuff like Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons, they're also gamers. So that is the question: how can I reach this massive audience that is willing to watch me paint? I doubt a lot of people will be watching me paint. It's, like I said, I just like it. Once in a while, people jump in. have a chat and talk about the minis that I paint or the minis that they've painted. If I just very lightly go over the edges. Don't need a lot of paint. Just the nice thing is that by doing this, by streaming, I actually got to know some other YouTuber, Edward Peak. Awesome guy. Definitely check him out. That's Edward Peak. I actually found him streaming painting once on Short, which is actually what got me doing this now as well. And would definitely recommend checking his live streams out as well. It's just such a lovely community. Mostly these. Also, I'm on some Facebook group as well, and everyone is so incredibly supportive. They're just happy people are spending time painting their minis and seeing. Also, a lot of new people getting into the hobby, and they're like, not every mini needs to be a little piece of art. It's just get a little paint on your mini, get some color on there, and it will look great. And the more you do it, the better you will get at it. How far we are so far? Yes, he is way too yellow. I know, but we'll do something about that in a bit. Let's see, do I have a darker yellow? I have. Do I continue painting or do I first try and glue the thingy on? I should probably just glue it on first. Do not like this paint, these bottles, because it just will not come out. But it is the best I've got. It does glue great. And now I'm miss the little stick I always use. This. I use this tiny old screwdriver to get the glue out and spread it on the stuff that needs to be painted, glued. I read somewhere some people use Q-tips for it, which is probably better. Although they need to throw those away every time, and I can continue using. I can't screw anything with it anymore, but because it's covered in glue. Go. And there's only one way. Oh, no, don't stick to my finger. Go. I should get me some of those soldering clamps. No, don't spill the glue. I think it is in there. And now we just wait a bit. They say it's very fast working glue, this, but I have other stuff that works better, quicker. But well, no, not better, but works quicker. But this stuff, in the end, it does not come loose. It will not come loose. Another handy thing about a 3D printer, you can make weird stuff like this. Which I thought was kind of funny. Okay, let's... And... I forgot to paint an upside. Yeah. Although I have a lot of space to be able to paint it. It doesn't need to be a problem. Look how the arm goes. It's quite fun. He is so bright yellow. It just looks silly. How do we... I could try this one, see if it goes better. This is... He's so bright yellow. A wash doesn't. This one's probably better. Yeah. Let's see if we can get it a bit darker. I'll probably should thin it down a little bit. It does already have the yellow, it just... It kind of just needs a slightly darker wash over it. I think this is going to work. I made this stuff. It's called honey. So I made it a bit thinner so I can just maybe even like 2 or 3 layers to not too quickly go too dark. But I do believe we're getting a lot warmer yellow tones now, which is kind of what we're going for. Yeah. I believe this is... Well, I don't want to say something too soon, but it's already better than it was. Oh, that wasn't that difficult. Yeah, that's a lot better. Might still go over it with a darker wash in the end. I'll just see. Just hope the glue already set enough for me to paint over it, because we're going for it. It seems I am not a patient man. Well, overall, I can be quite patient, but it seems not with this. Thing is also that if you put some weird paint on it, it gives an extra layer, an extra depth, which you wouldn't have if you didn't. It goes into a crevice somewhere or anything like that, and it might actually give it that extra bit of dimension in color that it wouldn't normally have. So if something were to happen like this, don't beat yourself up about it. It might have actually improved it in the end. It's a bit much. Might have to do a second pass, but I'm already starting to like it a lot more. It became a lot. Yeah, it's starting to look a lot better already. Well, if you're wondering what I'm painting, he's still a bit yellow. He needs to tone down a bit, but it's a Dragonborn. Will be a monk, I believe. The original file said it was a Sage Lord or something like that. Okay, we'll try to make him. Yeah. Although, it might actually be enough to just go over it with a wash now. I think it will. Yep. We'll leave all of that for now. What color are we gonna do the... I don't even know what to call that. The part... The piece of cloth in between his legs. Is that a tabard? But it's most of the time also on the chest, isn't it? Something to protect his modesty. um, what did I do for this? Is a Crusader skin for that one? Could be. I need something to offset brown and yellow, which, if you're honest, it's just a brighter brown. What? Brown is just a dark yellow. I know, it's not true like that, but I need something to offset it. What color would be best? Oh yeah, I also need to add the details on his arm. probably get myself a second camera that focuses on the mini. Because the way I'm holding it now, you can't see anything. I could just solve the brightness issue. Just give it a few darker lines on it. Yeah, that's already starting to look a lot better. It does give it a bit of extra depth. I'll just be right back. Just gonna quickly grab something. I'm back. Well, whoever just joined, it's a little painting stream, and I will be painting these tiny minis, or any of those that you can see over there. I'm painting them mainly for D&D. We sadly had a complete party wipe last session, so we need some new minis for our new characters. And luckily I have a 3D printer, and I printed some minis for them. believe that is also... Okay. Let's see. How long have we been going? Just over an hour. I might actually just call it quits for this evening. Or at least very soon. I'm just gonna finish up, escape a bit. And I think when I'm done with that, I'm just gonna call it quits for this evening. A bit of a slow one. There we go. Yeah. Sadly, there was no one around to vote for my poll. Oh well. For now, this is where it ends. I will maybe continue it either next stream or continue without streaming for a bit at some point. And thanks all for joining. And I hope to see you another time.